Hello, and welcome to Jeff City's Project Homeless Connect. I'm Jill Richardson, and I work for the Department of Mental Health. It's been the department's goal, along with community service providers, to assist people who are experiencing homelessness in pathways to recovery and also locating services around Jefferson City. I'm going to provide a short training for you today to kind of introduce you to a few thoughts and themes about people who are experiencing homelessness and how you might talk to people and engage with them today as you work as volunteers. Again, thank you for attending our event. So really, the purpose of our Project Homeless Connect is to assist people in our community who are most vulnerable. We wish to extend hope, dignity, and encouragement to those that we're serving today. They're in need, so we're going to help them. You know, many times through our life, we might get a picture in our mind about certain populations, and people who are homeless is no different than that. We may have formed our opinions over the years about what homelessness may look like, and this might be a representation of that. However, we've come to know that people who are homeless extend across every group. They can be students. Here, this photo is from the LA Times, and this is of a young person who is experiencing homelessness currently. And she is able to go to school and study history. And really, this kind of changes the way that we think about homelessness in our areas. People can be experiencing homelessness and we may not know it. People such as those exiting domestic violence situations, those who are in school and have insecure housing, or those who are experiencing a mental illness that causes them to lose their source of income or not be able to have steady income in general. So those are some people that we might encounter today in the work that we're doing. How this event can help. Many times people who are homeless have little or no access to service providers. So sometimes that might be because of transportation costs. There may be a lack of access to those providers in the community in general. Some areas of the state are resource rich. There are many places for people to go looking for help. And Jefferson City's kind of runs the middle of the road with that one. There are services here, but sometimes people just aren't aware of what they are. So Project Homeless Connect is a really good way to connect people with service providers in ways that they're practical and that they really need. Sometimes fear and stigma hold people back too. They don't want to admit that they're currently homeless or their housing is insecure. And then stigma from service providers that they have reached out to in times past may make them hold back as well. And then there's always the problem with funding, right? So a lot of these agencies may have a certain amount of people that they can serve and no more. So sometimes that creates a barrier for people seeking services as well. However, Jeff City Project Homeless Connect, through this process, we have reached out to city stakeholders and organizations in the Jefferson City area, asking them to collaborate with us, and then making a full day available for people who are experiencing homelessness in our area. This is where you come in too, because you are volunteers, you live and you work and you worship in this community, and involving you really helps to create a sense of empathy and compassion for people. You're going to find that when you meet these individuals and you work with them throughout the day, if you happen to be a tour guide, you're going to find that they have really interesting stories, as individual and unique as all of us are. So this really helps reduce stigma, because guess what? You can go out and tell 10 other people who may have preformed ideas about what homelessness looks like, and you can talk to them about what it is and what it isn't. Also, the Jefferson City Project Homeless Connect offers a one-stop shop for people experiencing homelessness. Think about how many barriers that reduces for people who are homeless to find these services. So, for example, if you were concerned with meeting your basic needs and you needed to be at a soup kitchen or maybe a food pantry at noon, but the only times that, let's say, a clothing charity was open was also at noon, you have some serious decisions to make. So hopefully with Jefferson City Project Homeless Connect, we allow people to reach out to different types of service providers in an effort to bring them all together and make it easier for an individual to work through. So our job today, be compassionate, be warm, be encouraging, and outgoing. That may mean that we kind of step out of our comfort zone a little bit, and that can be difficult. However, I think when you really get to talking to people, it's not that hard. People have some really, really amazing stories of resilience and self-sufficiency, and you're going to find that out as you visit with these people during the course of the day. So you might also have noticed that when I talk about a person who is experiencing homelessness, I don't call that individual a homeless person, because the entirety of their life is not wrapped up in being homeless, right? We know that there are many people that used to bring in six-figure salaries who now find themselves homeless because of circumstances outside of their control. And so by using person first language, we offer that individual honor and dignity. So you'll notice I use the phrase person experiencing homelessness, or an individual who is homeless, or a person whose housing is insecure. Those are the types of things you can think about. Another thing to think about is that a lot of people who are living out of doors currently live with a mental health illness also. So when we think about someone who has schizophrenia, that sounds way different than someone who is schizophrenic, right? Because that's not the entirety of their situation. So I just ask you to be mindful. Think about the way that you say things to people and about people, and try practicing that using person first language. I think you'll find that it engenders empathy and compassion in yourselves and those around you that listen to the way you speak. A little bit of logistical stuff. You'll have some paperwork that will come with each individual. We want to make sure that that paperwork all stays together and that we keep it in an organized manner. These folks will be making decisions on what kinds of items they want in their backpacks that we packed for them at the end of the day. We want to make sure that that information gets relayed to those persons working in backpacks and donations so that they get that rounded up for them in a smooth manner and in an organized way. There also will be volunteers working in the donations areas. Please be assured that you are going to be needed to help find things that people need. So just remember that you'll be helping to organize those areas and then also find things that folks need. Help keep areas tidy. So the venue this year is stretched across a city street, as well as 3 locations at area and local churches. So it's kind of impossible for 1 or 2 people to make sure that the areas stay clean. So if you see something, pick it up. If you see wrappers on the ground or the floors or something in the bathroom areas, please make sure that you can either pick it up safely or notify someone in maintenance staff who can take care of that for you. I want to talk a minute about boundaries. We don't want to share personal information. So although folks who are experiencing homelessness are not likely to be violent or cause problems in the community, statistics show that only about 4% of people worldwide do. We also want to make sure that we're not sharing personal information. So things that you might talk about is that you have pets. You might share that you have children, but you might not share your children's names. You might share that you live in the Jefferson City area. However, you might not tell what neighborhood you're in. So although we want to ask that you build rapport with the individual you're working with or people that you're working with throughout the day, don't give away too much of your personal information. We don't want that to kind of spoil the day for you or for the person that you're working with. Sometimes it does happen that people become uncomfortable. If that happens to you, notify a member of the committee immediately. We'll switch you out. We'll put other persons with that individual. Several years ago, we had a couple of young ladies who were working with the college who were a little bit uncomfortable working with certain male people who ask that they team up and be able to do the job together. And I thought that was a really creative and great way for those young ladies to work with individuals. So if there's any situation that makes you uncomfortable, we'll make allowances and we'll make it right for you. Lastly, be flexible. You may come to the event thinking that you'll be a tour guide, and we may ask you to maybe help assist at a vending table. So just be flexible. You're going to enjoy your time anyway. Last and not least, have a good time. This will be a good day. I've been involved with Project Homeless Connect for many, many years, and people leave excited and exhausted and crying and happy. And just the feeling of giving back to your community is what's really important. So just have a good time. Again, my name is Jill. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time.